This meeting is being recorded.
Hey guys, Bereans, our trivia for today is Hunger, chapter 12, verse 10. And we see the account of Abram going to Egypt, and we see it. Then, now there was a famine in the land, so Abram went down to Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was severe in the land. We got the word hunger from the ancient Hebrew account, and hunger existed in the land, and Abram went down unto Mizraim to immigrate there, given that the hunger was heavy in the land. So we see, although God was taking him through the promised land, but because of the famine, he also showed him Egypt, which will later be exposed, where the 400 years they will be away from their own land in a land which is not theirs as slaves. So that was also explained to Abraham in a dream later on. So this is a good preamble of that whole understanding of what he got in the dream. So Isaac later on had the same encounter Abraham had, as the famine was severe in the land. So he moved away to Gerar, and we see in the account in chapter 26 verse 1, now there was a famine in the land besides the previous famine that had occurred in the days of Abraham. So Isaac went to Gerar, to Abimelech, king of the Philistines. Now when Abimelech pushed them away, Isaac was planted in that land, and you can see here a hundredfold increase is what is being shown in the picture at the background. And in the old account, and hunger existed in the land apart from the first hunger which existed in the day of Abraham, and Ishak walked to Abimelech, king of one of the Philistines, unto Gerar. So that's the account there. Now we come to Joseph, who interprets God's dream, and he was mentioned by the cupbearer to the Pharaoh, because Pharaoh checked with everyone. No one seems to be able to understand the dream, which will be what will happen in our time. When the non-believers don't understand the dream, they will be checking with their own. They can't get the understanding, they will be checking with us. So that is a clue of what will happen into the future. In Genesis 41:27 and 30, it kind of relates the same thing. The 7 thin and evil cows that came up after them, they are 7 years, and the 7 thin years scorched by the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. And 30 says, and after them 7 years of famine shall come, and all the abundance shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall ravage the land. So that's the account there in Joseph's interpretation. Now, as he made it happen and he became the second in command, the whole world came to Egypt to buy food, because the dream came true. What Elohim mentioned is happening. And so we see in 54 of chapter 41, verse 54 of chapter 41, and the 7 years of famine began to come, just as Joseph had said. Then there was a famine in all the land, but in all the land of Mizraim, which is Egypt, there was bread. So it's very interesting to see how that happened. Now, as everyone was coming, so did his brothers, and Joseph was able to save his own clan because of that. So in chapter 45, a couple of chapters later, verse 11, there I shall also provide for you, for there are still 5 years of famine, lest you and your household and all that you would have be impoverished. And so we see in the ancient Hebrew account, and I will sustain you there, given that another 5 years of hunger, otherwise you will be inherited, you and your house, and all which belong to you. So that's how Joseph saves his own clan. I hope you found this interesting. Thank you for listening.